The Matala caves hold centuries of history, from early humans to Roman burials, and later, wanderers seeking freedom. These caves have sheltered life and death, homes, sailors, rebels, and poets, always evolving yet carved in stone.
Final 10 seconds will reflect on their timelessness, how these caves have endured while the world changed around them.
The story of Matala does not begin with empires or kings or even written history.
It begins with the very first humans to set foot on the island of Crete.
In the Neolithic period, between 7,000 and 9,000 years ago, early settlers discovered something unique here: soft sandstone cliffs beside the sea.
They began carving into the rock, slowly and deliberately, using primitive tools, leaving marks archaeologists can still trace today.
Fragments of ancient pottery found inside these caves still confirm their presence. Silent evidence from a world long gone. But what these first caves were used for remains one of Matala's earliest mysteries.
Thousands of years later, Matala rose again, now part of the Minoan world.
Just 11 kilometers north stood Phaistos, one of the great palace cities of the Minoan world, Europe's first advanced civilization. This was the harbor of Phaistos, a gateway between land and sea, between Crete and the wider world. Minoan ships carried pottery, olive oil, wine, timber, and copper across vast Mediterranean trade routes.
The natural curve of the bay, protected by sandstone cliffs, made Matala an ideal anchorage for Bronze Age vessels.
Zeus saw her near the sea. And transformed himself into a magnificent white bull. Moments later, the bull entered the sea, carrying her across the Mediterranean toward Crete. Whether divine myth or distant memory, the story of Europa reminds us how history and legend sail together across time.
Centuries passed and the world changed again, this time under the rule of Rome.
But the caves themselves took on a very different role.
They were carved deeper, expanded, and transformed into formal burial tombs.
The entrances were narrow, designed to be sealed, closing the space between the living and the dead.
Roman stonemasons carved benches and niches for lamps.
The caves of Matala fell silent once more, shaped now by ritual and the dead. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Matala slowly faded from history's spotlight.
The caves remained inhabited, used for shelter, storage, and simple daily life.
Fishermen work along the shore, mending nets and preparing their boats as they always have.
A small community lives in rhythm with the land, unchanged by distant empires.
Empires rise and fall, but the bay continues to offer shelter and silence.
A small number of early nonconformists, artists, writers, and wanderers found their way to Matala.
In the 1950s, that silence began to break, but not with army or empire, with traveler.
They came quietly, drawn by the caves, the sea, and the freedom of Matala.
They became known as the Beat Generation, wanderers searching for meaning beyond traditional society.
Among the ancient caves, they wrote, painted, and challenged the world they left behind. It was not yet a movement, but the beginning of a youth revolution.
By the 1960s, that quiet movement had transformed into something global.
Matala became one of the most iconic countercultural destinations in the world. Hundreds of young travelers arrived, artists, musicians, and free spirits from across Europe and North America. They lived inside the cave, sharing food, music, and ideas under the open sky. Among them were names that would define the era. Janis Joplin, Bob Dylan, Cat Stevens, Joan Baez,
And Joni Mitchell, who would later write the song Carey, capturing the spirit of Matala forever.
The freedom of Matala faded fast. The caves were emptied, then closed behind barbed wire. Today, Matala is once again a peaceful place, but the layers of its past remain. From the first human carving to the last dreamer who lived within this wall.
The caves still carry a message, etched into stone. Today is life. Tomorrow never comes. Our next adventure leads to Santorini, where the sea meets the sky in timeless light.
Thank you so much to all our viewers and subscribers. Your support means the world to me, and this journey wouldn't be the same without you. From my heart, thank you.